creation, a world on the brink. In the age of sorrows, dangers abound and cataclysms loom on the horizon. But it is not without heroes. The exalted, those chosen and empowered by the mightiest of the gods, are all around the world. They have, and can, pull it back from the precipice of oblivion. That is when they aren't too busy fighting each other. Now,
I have
chills as
chocolate
aura.
mousse. My power is maximum.
Korak as Lythander. Elatos as Gavel.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in my life?
Now, you're looking at now, man. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now, we're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now!
Now?
Now!
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
How soon?
And give
Third
her
base!
everyone else.
That was a good bit.
With apologies to Mel Brooks. Must band together and save the dreaming sea, all of creation, and perhaps even beyond, from the greatest threat reality has ever known. All this and more on FateBreakers. God, we should do more co-op bits in the future. That was really good.
Oh, goodness.
It will make sense later, don't worry. So, chocolate mousse, you say. Good for you. Hopefully that won't cause your mic to short-circuit for a half hour like last time.
What?
No, sweet.
There was a little bit of a recording hiccup on Chills' end during a major dialogue scene which sucked to re-record.
Oh.
Sorry, I got to finish this. Anyway, I had to redub it.
Yes.
But you know what? I choose to believe that the mishap happened because I didn't have chocolate mousse back then. Now there's no stopping this train.
That's the point of divergence there. This is where the rings of time fork. Rivers. Why did I say rings? What the fuck? I guess maybe I've got jewelry on the mind considering what happened last time.
The rings of time.
Ligier, would you care to tell us what happened last time, sir? Previously, what occurred on the last episode of your narrative
Avatar,
is
the last
that...
Airbender.
I'm sorry, did I say you could talk? Please don't admonish my co-host, sir. He's just trying his best. I understand that, but his best isn't good enough.
Wow.
Why are you... really? If I am unable to rule over creation as I once did, then I insist on putting your cohorts in their place. Okay, you know what, sir? Please just do the episode summary so you don't traumatize my co-hosts. Fine. What happened last time is not much of note. I merely took several commissions from those who were victors in the tournament, as well as some of their compatriots, to continue to spread the glory of the Yozi, imprisoned here as we are inside ourselves. Did anything else happen of note? Well, if I were as I once were, then I would be able to answer much of the past glories of your circle of adventurers, but due to the damage Aura and her cohorts in the First Age inflicted, I cannot tell you what happened last time with that level of granularity and detail. Well, at least you didn't vaporize us on contact. No, this is much more entertaining than that. Do you have anything nice you want to say? Anything uplifting, perhaps? Yes, let me cut this piece of paper. Chills, be sure to drink plenty of water, whatever that means.
You know, I was in the process of catching a sinus infection earlier last week, so I appreciate the thought, by the way.
Yes. As a note, be sure it's not the acid waters of Kimberly. That's a problem, Melodies. And now, if you'll excuse me, I must take this meeting with this angry bug solar who has been staring at me for the past 24 hours unblinking without any food, rest, or sleep. He has repeated the issue several times. Fine, we'll discuss your zoning commission or whatever. Did he leave anything out?
I don't think so.
Oh, right, Gavel's panel.
Yes, Gavel's panel and Nem and Loki trying to mess everything up.
The con crasher that he was.
Yes.
He had like fucking 6 different mechanisms in order to continue fucking things over.
Mm-hmm.
The chaos was his goal. He was just fucking with you.
And
Well,
Gavel did the best he could.
What his goal was changing because he kept altering his own personality on a whim just to keep people guessing. An incredibly frustrating power Infernals can use.
Mm-hmm.
And it eventually just ended with fucking breaking one of the walls of the con just to yeet him out of there. Oh, he also was gonna try and sell some of the bad peaches to Ouroboros so they could use that to continue their war after they stopped with the Heart of Man.
Right.
Thankfully, a stop was put to that via, Aura tricking fucking Tepet-Atep into giving his shares in the Seeds of Immortality over to you, and then he gave all of that was transferred to Gavel.
Which is
However,
really hilarious.
Speaking of legal matters, there is one more thing that I am going to, proc for players before turning them all back into your court. Aura received court summons for assault.
Oh, yes.
The court is open to the public. Are you guys gonna go?
I think Gavel will show up for this, yes.
Lythander, you want to go to court?
Do you wish to...
No? Okay.
Do you wish to be amongst Aura's peers? Well, Gavel will.
Alright. I'm not sure if I need to explain to you how corrupt Malfean court is. The judge appears to be a giant literal gavel, I should note. A demon in the shape of a massive hammer.
Oh, boy.
I do think, Abigail just looks back and forth and... Did the chicken or the egg come first, I wonder?
Gavel points to her hair. The chicken.
I apologize, ma'am. My daughter insisted I run that joke by you.
It's fine. You aren't the first to make the joke, nor will I imagine you'll be the last by the end of everything.
Speaking of which, I should note that a significant portion of our men were preparing for what we've all been waiting for and training at Saturnikal's dojo. I'm not sure what specific kind of martial prowess they've learned, but it's best to be as prepared as possible if we're going to strike directly at Prasad. Though I do echo Stargazer's notes saying that we should build allies back in creation before actively engaging.
That seems fine by me. I'm sure that perhaps going on an ally collection tour would be a good thing. Fond memories and everything on the road.
Yes, and as a note, I do believe... Let me restart that sentence again. As a note, I received an offer, deposited in our general's quarters, of opening a portal back from Malpheus.
I see.
Wherever you wish.
Okay, that's certainly handy, and I'm assuming this will get us past the part of the desert for however long.
There is no getting past the desert of Cecily, I'm told, but
I see.
where the other door leads, I'm assuming you wish to break into the capital, Kandahar itself.
Yes.
I would recommend not immediately so. It would take some time to build allies first. Though we need not do so in person, apparently. There is a demon who is willing to engage with remote communication, but I suppose they're currently serving jury duty, so it may be best to speak with them afterward.
That is fine.
Oh, wait, there they are right now. And we pan over to across the jury as we see... Mion was called to jury duty, funnily enough.
Oh, come on!
It's not Mion who's going to be handling the comms communication for getting shit taken up, though. We see what appears to be a walking crossroads booth, like the toll booth that you would see like more in modern times outside of roads.
Mm-hmm.
The medieval or Bronze Age era equivalent of such, and a hand stretches out from inside. Gavel, you would know that this is that this is 10,000th brick, the messenger soul of Jacinthe, the road upon the tower.
Okay.
This is the road boss who you called upon once. This is one of their component souls for transmitting messages across vast distances.
I see. Okay.
So, pretty reasonable pick from your generals for spreading a bunch of messages and setting up remote-scale conferences in short notice.
Mm-hmm.
The issue being that he has very steep fees.
I see.
Any of you guys have resources 5?
Yes, I do.
Hey.
Oh. All right then. That might be affordable.
I've been upping resources over the past few over the past few days. Yes, indeed. There it is. Resources 5.
We cut to a Golden Hawk restaurant establishment in Autochthonia. No one knows how the fuck it got there, but it's been rated in script.
Mm.
In any case, they're on the jury, as are a couple of others, including Obscura.
Oh.
And her summoner, Nemen, is still by her side.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Well, by her side is she's seated a couple rows backwards in the audience section.
Okay.
She glances over at you and then returns to the trial, and she is sending some speech, but you can't hear what it is. She's using a dragon-blooded charm wind-carried words to send a message somewhere.
Okay.
Literally, like, pitching her voice, and it goes across a very long distance.
Right.
It's a dragon blood radio, effectively. Or, like, two-way radio. In any case. Now then, do anyone have any bribes they wish to present before the case commences? And, yeah, much like in Shampur, he just said, hey, anyone want to throw me bribes? This place is very Dark Assembly from Disgaea core.
Is this what you were asking? Is this what you were asking about Resources 5 for?
No, that's different. Well, it could also be related.
What could I use to bribe?
The prosecutor, one Nemen Loki,
Oh, come on.
steps forward with his in his three-piece suit. I don't think we need the bribe, given how open or shut the case is. There's only so much Jade or mortal and immortal treasures could do against something as open and shut as this. I'd like to throw a bribe. From the back of a room emerges the Gnosis of brass and sand.
Oh no, not this asshole!
Gnosis. No, come on,
I
Gnosis.
I was wondering if the what's it called? If the assault charge was from him, because I did that to shut him up a couple days ago. Of course, that's off the record, so no one can put me in a rougher spot than I am right now. No one heard that. You didn't.
He spends 2 motes on unbreakable laws of hell.
Oh,
all
really?
All assault charges on the fallen demons are moot, as they are no longer around for due recompense for.
Helpful.
And the demon judge just kind of growls like, I knew giving them that ability was a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah, that seems a bit irresponsible.
There is a concrete grinding on concrete sound as Gnosis' head turns a full 180 degrees to look at Aura with a full fucking Cheshire cat smile.
Yeah? What? Was it something on my teeth? Hold on. Gavel. Gavel, what? Is there something on my teeth?
He's making this face at you.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nemen, and you do hear Nemen just kind of muttering, "As above, so below. Most cases do end up being settled out of court."
Yeah.
uh,
Why do I feel no less? Why do I feel no more tranquil than when I began?
Loki just kind of, he does look slightly disappointed. Oh well, I'll be on my way then.
What?
Goodbye. I'll be seeing you on another
Okay.
point. Though I may ask, what's your game here, Gnosis?
What is this game?
Well, he as people begin to file out of the room, he slowly slides up to Aura. You owe me.
Yeah?
And he spends a mote on listener swaying argument, reducing the cost of purchasing persuade and dissuade to 1 success. In addition, he is using a special mode of fulminating word to force you to accept a hard bargain if you want to resist this influence. You can't just choose to ignore it. You know what?
Can't I?
Rather generous. If you
Can't I?
Well, we'll see.
Can I not? Can I not just spend 2 motes reflexively on step 4?
What
Spirit
term is that?
maintaining maneuver?
Well, let me at least get out what he wants out
Uh-huh.
first. Let's call it even. You go and kill my parents, and we'll call it even.
Explain.
They have caused me no degree of umbrage, and I seek to cut the roots. I've been having some weird prophetic dreams as of late. A common condition among us, as I think we could cultivate them through the prowess of the Yosi Sakura
It seems prophetic dreams seem to be all the rage at this point in time.
Yes, and I know that you will be having some form of interaction with the dear old capital of Prasad, Kandahar. My parents will be there, and I want them gone for what they did to me.
Okay. Do you care to specify what? I mean, I don't know.
Generally being shitty parents for the most part.
Okay. Right.
Such as completely disowning me when I failed to exalt with the dragon's blood and shipping me off to the ass end of nowhere to be constantly taunted by monks for most of my days.
Alright, but what do I get out of this?
You being forgiven in this charges of assault I just did for you?
Okay, hold on. Let me just pull my dictionary real quick. I think there's something in my law book. Let me see. Rex, refresh my memory. What do I have to roll to literally look up if this is like some kind of entrapment? If this is entrapment or not?
It kind of is entrapment. Let's go ahead and have him fucking roll, though.
What do I?
He's using
What
an excellency
do I
naturally.
roll to see if this is entrapment?
You don't need to roll. You'll automatically succeed.
Nice.
Wow.
Now, I should note, that is 5 successes, and he used that fulminating word charm to reduce the needed successes of Persuade to only 1. However, you do have the deflect social influence perfectly once per scene.
Indeed I do.
I think.
Spirit maintaining maneuver. Alright, let me look this up. Now let me look the definition of entrapment. Entrapment. The action of tricking someone into committing a crime in order to secure their prosecution. That's not quite right.
It's close enough. In any case, if you want to pop that charm here, then you could just negate this without bothering to dip into the intimacy well.
So here's the thing, right? I think, I've been asked an awful lot to kill an awful lot of people. And well, my pops used to say, if you're good at something, never do it for free. I'd say there's a better deal you can give me. I appreciate this favor you've done for me. Was entirely involuntary, counting, of course, as an act of the goodness of your heart. Totally inadmissible in a court of law, and if you would attempt to use this kindness against me, that would count as entrapment. I've done my research, sir. So.
You have, and you would also know that entrapment is explicitly not illegal in Malfeas.
Perhaps. Then allow me to do this. You've already managed to secure a bit of the how do you put this? You've managed to secure some of the rights to the demonic peaches of immortality, have you not?
As has all of the infernal hosts.
Exactly. Tell you what. If you can fill me in on the details, and promise me to promise to relinquish some of that, along with whatever rights your followers might have on these peaches, I'll do the deed for you. How's that sound?
Unfortunately, I genuinely don't know anything about. Actually, as he's saying that, let me roll to see if he does have any extra knowledge about that. Using his secondary pool of 10 dice. So he actually might know something, yeah. In exchange for killing my parents, in addition to the good deed I've done for you, you want the information about the peaches, you say?
Yes, I
suppose you want to gather them up and throw them all into a fire.
Well, yes, that was the initial plan, yes.
It is difficult to stop a flood once it is in motion, but I will agree to... Alright, I'll go ahead and tell you. And he stops. Magically. He is under the effects of our little secret.
Oh, rats.
Gavel, you'd recognize this.
I have that one.
And he seems actively surprised by this. Just, wait, what? But silence, as he's clearly struggling to say something, but it's not coming out.
That's right, baby.
Oh, come on, but I didn't have anything to... This is the first time you've actually seen him be frustrated.
Is this your parents doing as well? Well, son.
If it were them, it would have a much more distinct elemental flake. Lythander, this is a valid target for curse-shattering strike.
Wait, what's going on?
Gnosis is being magically silenced to prevent him from spilling the beans on the cartel, the Peach cartel.
Lythander cracks his neck.
Neck snap.
And we just hear Gnosis do a little bit of an eep!
That's pretty good.
Goddamn!
Goddamn.
Yeah, that's good Foley.
That's me cracking my knuckles.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch him right in the face.
That was...
Cut to the Eric Andre, we'll be right back.
No, I'm going to... Sorry, not going to punch him in the face. I'm going to slap him without using curse-shattering strike.
I was about to say, this isn't curse-shattering strike, he's just doing this.
Okay, yeah.
To see if he will say something by being slapped.
Alright.
What would you like me to roll here?
I cast curse-shattering strike on yous. Also, I slapped yous.
Force plus sagacity.
For just a slap, okay.
I'm on the edge of my goddamn seat.
5 successes.
He flinches a little bit, and you see him take a few steps back. You just said this is the normal slap and not the actual charm use, though, so...
Yeah.
Stumble backward. Ah! Fine. It was that alchemical. Equal to the... what is the wording on the charm for the difficulty of the effect?
Oh, this is just another slap.
Oh, okay. Alright, fine. You got me. It was that abyssal who's been skulking around.
Now it's Curse Shattering Strike.
Oh my goodness.
What's the difficulty on Curse Shattering Strike?
Let me read that real quick.
I think it's equal to Essence plus 2.
Plus Sagacity. Against the curse to meet the spell. The difficulty is equal to the essence of the malefactor. Just essence.
Oh, okay, then you do succeed. Difficulty against Essence 4.
Death Lords, Second Circle Demons, or most require Adventure to spell.
This is an exalted charm,
Okay.
so you're able to break it with... Yeah,
Just
and you don't have the first of a new Gremlin collection after you got Nuzlocked and all your Pokemon were released.
Yeah.
Alright.
They nuzzled on my lock
Till they decided to become Ligier fangirls. In any case, with an actual mighty slap, you see his mouth explode open and a swarm of tongues stream forth from in his throat. There's now a little tongue made of tongues crawling across the floor. Well, that's fucking disgusting.
He licks him.
Alright, fine. You want the truth? I genuinely don't know who specifically it is, aside from the fact that an infernal tricked the fucking Lunar into doing that. It's one of us who intentionally tricked Stinger into sticking his finger in the pie. And thus being the fall guy while they got away scot-free. Now, as to where they're going, if you want to stop the spread, it's too late. Some demonic agents are already importing the fruit into creation. However, your patron spits on the floor, has already taken see fits to add them to a record, is it not? And as a result, heavenly agents are going to... The fucking Sidereals will be doing your fucking work for you. Is that what you want to know?
Perhaps.
Sure.
Because that's sure as shit their problem now.
Gotcha. Good to know that we have some. Good to know we have some able-bodied allies helping keep those things off the streets. Good lord. All right. Let's see.
Now, I'm going to say, before I agree to anything else, if you want my help in curbing the spread, I insist on keeping some of those for my personal use.
Okay. If you could detect... Well, as long as you can detail what the personal use is, and submit it for approval, and...
I want to live forever!
Okay, but like... No, what I mean is like... Who do you intend to use them on? Like, is there a... Do you like... You know?
Well, if I say, then you're going to say no, so I'm not going to tell you.
Well, alright. Fuck it.
Fuck it as in no deal, or...
No, fuck it as in
Deal.
No, fuck it as in
or
deal.
no deal.
Okay.
Why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? I'm actually a little surprised out of character.
I don't strike a deal with him, by the way. This is not oath sealed.
Yeah. Well, he oath seals it.
I know.
Remember, he could do that too. He's the reverse of your cast. Now, he only has enough ammo to oath seal all that at the minor level, I should note. Alright, in exchange for my continued assistance in cleaning up those peaches, you kill my parents. Sounds good.
Alright, we have ourselves a deal.
Can we add their progeny as well to that?
If you want, but I'm reasonably sure I took care of my other siblings, so
Sure.
that's that.
Yes, let's add that.
Alright.
Is that added?
No.
Damn it.
Because
I hope you realized I was trying to make it so that we could kill him before the oath is actually...
Yeah, I know.
Can I roll a persuasion check?
Let me see.
That's not going to be possible because he thinks they're already dead.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah?
Remember the thing we did with Gavel?
Yep.
Oh.
Axe so nice.
Oh my
Axe so nice, we do it twice.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We're just going to have to go flatliners, you ma'am. We'll have to stop your heart clinically for 1 minute, and then you'll be fine. Alright. Well, funny for that of a solar exalted, and none of the night casts, I should note, simply to do the dirty work. Oh, by the way, they're both dragon bloods. So they're going to be difficult than just a more mere
Right.
mortal.
I figured. If they're in Prasad, they must be.
I mean, that's not
Though-
necessarily true. I mean...
Though in the interest of providing more assistance, I will detail further notes about what I know about Prasad's forces.
That would be very helpful, actually.
I want them dead, so it's in my best interest to give you the rest of this information. Gavel, this is probably for you as well, given you're the righteous crusader here and all.
Indeed.
First thing I know is that, they've recently discovered a small population of, I believe they're called Dragon Kings. And I've been asking around a little bit about that in the off hours in Malfeas, and they're apparently a giant species of lizards that can fuse with gods.
Huh.
They attain human level degree of thought and speech once they get old enough. Before that, they're animals, and at a certain point in their lives, they can temporarily fuse with a god for a period of anywhere from years to a century to gain even greater power enough to equal us.
Well then.
And it's said that this is where the traitor gods got their inspiration for creating us. Dragon Kings were proto-exalted. They're the
Okay.
proto-man to your Mega Man.
Ah, fuck, they can charge shot!
Yes, they can.
Good thing they're not the base. I don't want to deal with
And
a shot.
There we
My
go.
understanding is they only have a scant few of them, but they are, when fused with a god, they are more potent than Dragon Bloods.
This is, of course,
So
a
you're
thinly veiled reference to the RPG Dragon Kings.
No, I don't really know about that.
I don't know about it either. I just looked it up and I said the first thing I saw.
Yeah, they have these guys, don't worry about it. All you gotta do is hit them with a styrofoam
my
rock
Yo!
and they'll go right down.
I'm the baby, gotta love me.
They have at least one Ochalike, as I believe they're called. Fused with some tribal god that left after abandoning a tribe or something. I didn't catch the details. Additionally, they have at least one architect at their disposal, and those are far more dangerous to fight in the city than out of it. They gain much greater power then. And of course, the dragons, of which they have several thousand. So, if you're serious about bringing war to them, you're going to need more than your own little tribe. You're going to need to make a whole goddamn alliance.
We're working on it.
Right. I was helping you realize we are trying to sabotage the Wyld Hunt. I'm on
Indeed.
your side. Studio audience laughed.
Fuck it. I already know what the alliance is going to look like, and I already know what we're gonna call it.
All right. Let's see. Oh, of course, Sidereals. There is one Sidereal I have heard who is native to Prasad itself. And of course, as a major Dragon Blood holding, there will be a handful of them that will try and hit you back if you try and strike at one of the bulwarks of creation, as it's been referred to. Against the very coast of the Dreaming Sea, Prasad, as much as I would like for it to fall, of course, you are going to need to start beating back the fairies who will try and fill the power vacuum, due to being so close to the wild.
Yes, we've gone up against them before, so it shouldn't be too much of a difficulty to do it a second time.
It is odd that one of their ambassadors is here right now, though. Oh, you mean me? Holy shit! And the not naked woman, Revelation Ex Nihilo, just shows up, just pans in, scene left. You're absolutely certain that chair was empty beforehand.
Yep.
And she is just full basic instincting at all of you, but it's all censored, so who can tell? What? Can you fucking... We're having a private conversation. Oh, I'm not gonna interrupt. I'm just listening. Everyone, please roll me awareness and your choice of embassy or integrity. Difficulty 10.
Okay.
So you said awareness plus what now?
Your choice of either embassy or integrity.
Well,
So we're using 2 ability scores. Okay.
No, your choice of either
Unfortunately,
one
I
of
did
them.
not roll well enough for that one.
embassy, you said.
Embassy or integrity, your choice.
Okay, I'm gonna use an excellency on embassy.
I forgot that I have 4 embassy.
7 successes.
Right now I only have 3. So let's see.
Hopkins
No.
is going to do an 8 action.
Oh.
And for a specific reason, he's doubling 9s. Oh, well, that's still another dice for Gavel.
Okay, 1 dice. All right. Please. Nope.
Is there any way else that you guys can boost shit up? Here's a thought. You guys haven't spent major milestones. You got major milestones last session. If you want to pop that as allies from any of the Exalted you've met over the last session, or for major demons, or like for followers or shit that might be able to help, you could tap those, you could tap any merits you have, and those might help
With the what?
these rolls.
Sorry, what?
I don't think we're making it past that 10. Altos was her strongest hope.
Gavel might be able to if she could justify how a merit would help her notice something wrong here.
Okay, is any of my troops with me, or at least nearby?
Unfortunately, command is really only good for combat.
Darn it.
Followers.
Okay, influence? Can I do anything with my influence merit?
Yes, you
Okay.
can. I
Because
think
that's
your
at...
influence merit is as secondary, so that's
Yes.
3 more dice.
Uh-huh, alright. Please?
Can I tap my
Nope!
merit to help Altos?
Who's your spider?
I don't know. I have 3 ally merits, so
Oh, you do?
yeah.
Oh, you mean 3 dot. Okay.
Yeah, 3 dots.
Okay. Spider wouldn't be interested in this, I think.
Alright, this is for Alatos' roll, though.
Okay, that puts Gavel to cap, so 3 more dice.
3 more dice? Okay.
Let's go, Gavel. Let's go.
Ba. Nope. 1, 2, 3.
3.
That's hilarious.
So we don't notice, okay.
Even in a failure, you would notice there's something weird about about Revelation being here.
Excuse me, can you leave? This is a private conversation.
Oh, okay, fine. And she just goes up and walks away.
Thank you.
Wow, okay.
Problem solved. Good job, Korak. You're really pulling everybody. You're really keeping the party together this session. I'm going to be honest with you.
I haven't done
You've
anything.
done so much. You smack.
I didn't even. I have less than 5 minutes of
You
screen
slapped
time.
that guy in the face twice. You told the lady to three times. You told that lady to leave, and she did. Look at that. You're a real go-getter today. Honestly, I'm very proud of you.
Would I notice? Would I be able to notice if there were any spiritual ears lying around near where she was
The
at?
target is of equal or higher essence to you, so wayward divinity oversight wouldn't work. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna have Lythander's mushroom children roll.
Oh.
Mushrooms, mushrooms, we are the mushrooms.
7. Lythander, roll 4 more dice for your initial roll of 4 successes, I think? No, 2 successes.
Yeah, so I mean, this isn't gonna help at all. 1 more success.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I would laugh if I got 4 10s there.
That kind of thing has happened before. Remember
I
talking the Wyld Hunt into going away?
Yeah. That's fair, but I would have just been like, oh, okay.
Actually, 1 second. Gnosis is gonna make a roll as she is walking away.
Okay.
I mean, at this point in time, we should just let it happen.
Oh my god!
Goodness sakes!
Okay, Gnosis did it.
8. Oh my. 8, 9, 10. Oh, goodness sakes!
The thing is would Gnosis tell you?
That all depends on what Gnosis found out, I suppose.
Give me a moment to think.
There's Gnosis? No, there's a McDonald's in the Pentagon. No? Okay.
He would tell you later.
Okay.
So, he just kind of strokes his chin, scratches at some scruffy facial hair as she walks off. I believe we have an X Factor. You're gonna want to keep an eye on her. Actually, let me roll his tertiary pool to see if he brings himself to tell you now, while there's still time. You just... Okay. While she has already walked away and walked off screen, you just see him stem and drum his fingers across his leg. As funny as it would be, I really should tell you if I want you to be successful at kicking over the shit can. Okay, fine. Isn't it suspicious a fair folk would be here?
Certainly. Which I'm presuming that means that either she's there because of us being here, or for a different reason entirely.
Or, and here's a wild idea, what if that's not actually a fair folk?
Could also be the case.
I have heard tell of a means of... The Sidereals, this is not their first time in Malfean. I know that there's been one skulking around pretending to be a doting father getting shit for his kids. I'm going to have him killed. He's just really annoying. But anyway.
We gotta kill this man, I'm sorry.
But regardless, I have heard tell that they, in fact, have a means to temporarily transmute their entire being. Beyond, not shape-shifting as a Lunar does, completely changing who they are. Making a new person or entity on the spot, including a spirit, to replace them.
I see.
And in fact, that character... If an Ishvara were here, they would be way more destructive than what they are. I think that might be a Sidereal.
Oh, great, another Sidereal.
And in fact, hang on a second. And he runs around the corner, and yep, she's already gone.
Yeah.
He dithered too much. That triggers his Infernal Great Curse. Of the fact that he was successfully bamboozled and outplayed in his plans. Let me just scroll down to the Great Curse section to, as you just see steam literally pouring out of his ears, and he involuntarily shifts into his devil body incarnation of the fucking Terminator again. Oh, that son of a... Come on, there has to be something I can do to... No. I refuse to be... I'm scrolling down the list to see what would be the most appropriate thing to pick here. Oh yeah, let's go with this one. Shrine Scorning Tirade. The idea of veneration itself offends the infernal, both in the abstract and the specific. They act out against public displays of piety, disrupt any organized religion, or harangue or even assault available religious figures. Priests and gods receive the brunt of their abuse if present, but feeling that, the infernal will happily desecrate relics, vandalize shrines, and otherwise lay waste to the trappings and architecture of faith. Oh, you know what? Fine. If I can't fucking kick over the Sidereal, if they've used one of their 15 different ways to vanish off the spot, I'm gonna go murder everyone in the Yushan embassy.
Uh-oh.
See ya. And he just stomps off unless someone would try and stop him.
Whoa!
I will have the tongue follow him
Wait.
and attach to his leg.
What's happening? Wait, this has escalated incredibly quickly.
And he is already, So, Foggy uses ambush sensing premonition, I don't know the exact term, to realize that all of a sudden someone's going to attempt to fucking murder him and everyone he's hanging out with in the Heaven Embassy down here. Then he spends 3 motes on neighborhood relocation scheme. Gonna go read out what that Sidereal charm is for everyone. Good thing he picked that up off screen while he's not a player.
Well, gosh,
So
I got to get everyone out of here. Can't have Exam living in such a place in terrible, dire straits.
Why did he take Ixam with him to
Exam,
Malfean?
we're going to Grandma's house.
Oh, no, it's a goofy movie, but it takes place in hell?
Yes. The concerts isn't actually in creation, it's in Malphis.
I would argue that'd make it a hell of a better concert.
Oh. Because Exam really wants to see what life in Malphis is like. Having never been outside of his small Yushan home.
Yep, that checks out. Alright, neighborhood relocation scheme. I'm gonna look up the 3rd edition variant, because for reasons I'll get into later, that's open on this side. I'm just gonna go, yes, good, I've got it. I have a funny maiden poem for Foggy to read out that I'm gonna DM to Alatos momentarily, as he is hurriedly whipping out the prayer paper, scribing it, slapping it on the building, and then what happens will happen.
Alright, you want me to read this in the Fugi voice?
Yeah, go ahead,
Right.
man.
Well, gosh, once there was a maiden who was driven from her land. Great black stags chased after her, and their eyes shone blue. Monsters scrambled after her through the bush, though they found her not. Stumbling on a log, she fell, and thought to surrender and end the torment of the hunt. But then she stood, and stuck out her tongue at the dark woods behind her. Love is smiling at your troubles, she said.
The effect of this charm. The Sidereal can transport a landscape or community across creation, or wherever they are, reshaping both reality and the celestial bureaucracy records to make it as if it has always been there. When she uses this charm, she chooses a region out to essence miles from her, ensnaring all inhabitants, structures, habitations, natural features, domains, and manses, and the landscape within her fate. She can't pick and choose what to bring, nor can she bring something that doesn't fall entirely within this range. If this includes an unwilling character's domain, manse, or place of power, they must make a roll to move it on a failed roll it leaves behind. As the Sidereal move, the region moves with her. She must travel under her own power, render this incompatible with mounts, sorcerer's travel, and the like. Vehicles are also incompatible, except for mobility aids like wheeled chairs. The region and the inhabitants exist at a remove from reality until they reach their destination. They're visible and still capable of action, but outsiders can't interact with them without specialized magic, which Gnosis doesn't have, and vice versa. So there is effectively a fucking Benny Hill chase as Foggy is dragging around not just the Yushan embassy. Let's jump back into the fucking Malfean map to see what the fuck else he's moving. Yes, I believe I have that under... Let me double check which map it is. Yes, here we go. Oh, for all this time, we haven't fucking labeled what it is. It's still listed as new page 1 in Roll20. I'm too fucking lazy for that.
Mhm.
Yushan Embassy, the
Where
Gaia
was that?
Scorn, and the Law School of Malpheus, and Saturn Recall's Dojo, and the Dance Club, are all, and the Mega Amphitheater, and the Orphanage! You know what? Fuck it. He just moves the entire upper third of the... He just moves the entire upper 10th of the map.
Oh my goodness.
No, not
Moves
the
it into a-
orphanage.
He moves it into a completely fucking separate section of creation.
No!
As we cut to a bird's eye view of Foggy doing a fucking... You know that one bit of Pirates of the Caribbean where Jack Sparrow's running away from 100 different guys?
Yes.
Imagine that instead of that, he was running from one very, 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 very angry demigod. Doing this to him.
Oh no, he took
Oh,
away the
boy.
PlayStation Nation!
Oh no, he did! This is the vibe that Gnosis is doing in the throes of the Great Curse. This is the level of screaming he is at this poor
Oh
man.
yes. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth.
Foggy! You can't escape me! Oh, this is absolutely a chase that Ixiam gets involved in too. I'm imagining that mere seconds after this happens, you see a solid major chunks of city blocks literally phase partially out of reality and just start to move at roughly human speed. And
Goodness.
and fucking Gnosis is crashing his way through a ton of walls cartoon style, leaving behind little Gnosis-shaped holes in the walls, as he chases them literally across the entire city of hell.
Oh my goodness.
And this is when Nue comes back from the bathroom. What did I miss?
I don't know, but there's now an emblem somewhere on here.
An emblem? Sorry?
Yeah, an emblem.
Oh, a lucky emblem.
Is it lucky? Is Foggy lucky?
I guess we'll find out. Not how I expected that scene to end, to be honest.
That's
You're the
hilarious.
DM! How did you
Like,
not expect it to end like this?
Well, you
I-
see.
I expected that one of you guys would catch the Sidereal. I didn't think it would be the NPC who would be fucking you over through his own bullshit, and therefore not tell you until it was too late. But this leads to some interesting stuff down the line.
Oh goodness.
Any other last-minute chores anyone has before you plan where to make your exit back into creation? Because as fun as HellCon was, you can't stay here forever.
Why
You have
not?
shit to do back.
We have an entire, kingdom to overthrow.
Yeah. You have an
Gotta
empire to
I
topple.
don't like when you're
Yeah.
right.
You have human rights issues to address.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alright.
I'm trying to think if Ligier would have any of your commissions done for you. Oh, yeah, the boots would be ready by the time you depart.
Yes.
I wonder if the Gaul is told.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
this
it
reminds
is.
me, I need to get in that brain.
Can you believe the Gaul no longer has time capabilities?
Shortly before you leave, Lythander, all of a sudden, whatever room you're in, be it the bathroom, the bedroom, retracts into the floor. At some point, whatever you're doing, reemerges inside that same amphitheater you were in earlier. The ghost of your dead Righteous Knife's ghost has been ejected from the Gaul by now, and is just kind of floating around in confusion, just kind of floating into a wall. Like an NPC whose pathing is broken in a Bethesda game.
Hey, honey.
No response, just continues floating into a wall.
I poke.
Your hand goes through.
I poke more.
Okay. An absolutely gorgeous woman made out of solid brass sculpture work and veins glowing with essence greets you. One of Ligier's second circle messenger soul.
Oh.
Hello, I am Metatra.
Hello, Metatra. My name is Lythander. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, our prince has finished making the piece. However, I should note there is a complication.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to need, not in the forms of being a flaw in the work so much as there being one more key ingredient you'll need to find for it to properly succeed. But before that, I should at least present it with you before the disclaimer. Behold. A fucking killer queen compartment opens up in her stomach. And what shape does this artifact look like, Lythander?
I don't know. What does this shape look like?
Here's my question. Do you think it'd still be a ring, or would it be a different artifact now?
That's a good question. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I have an answer to you of... There is a ring component of it, to be sure, but now there is what seems to be an hourglass. Like a very tiny hourglass, no larger than, no larger than, like, you know, an earring attached to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Very finely made out of star metal.
Ooh.
Behold now the Crucible of Rebirth.
It's no longer the gull, it's a crucible of rebirth already.
The meat, from what you wished for, the Prince of Hell decided, based on the conversations you had, and now is when we have a flashback to, did you have any fun conversations, interactions with Hell bosses? Ligier or other big demons while you were hanging out in their crib? Did you get into any fucking 90s situation comedy stuff?
I don't think I have. Did. I'd have just taken it and just respected the boundaries.
Okay. While you were walking, you did hear swearing from the walls of several demons. Shit, I thought I'd do something stupid. I'll have to pay up.
What do you mean, you thought I would do something stupid?
Well, you never got a response to that. In any case, back to the present. What this will do, once it is complete, you will need to interface with the ghosts trapped in the steel directly, and it will transmute the soul, one metal to another, one steel to another steel. It will turn soul steel into star metal. It will turn a ghost into a god. They cannot truly be released from their bindings. That part of the transmutation is permanent, but you can eliminate the part of them that suffers and give them new life and existence. And movement.
So what you're telling me is Ligier couldn't actually do what I asked.
Well, remember that conversation we had with our last guest star of there being no way to actually safely destroy soulsteel without killing the souls inside? What you could do instead is to make them no longer suffer and rebirth them into a new form of existence.
Gotcha.
And this is what he did. Asterisk. The issue being is that the souls incorporated into the Gavel itself don't want this to happen. In order for this artifact to be able to complete, a missing piece of the Neverborn itself will need to be added and appeased. You're going to need to find a fragment of what was once the Fetic soul of a Neverborn and apologize to it for killing them. In order to ensure that this is possible, you must first succeed on your spiritual transmutation of rebirthing a fragment of the Neverborn, of purging the taint of the whispers from them. Unfortunately, I couldn't have you succeed on your quest without a major input from the player. There's still gotta be one last obstacle.
Did I not entertain you enough?
I can't just hand you everything on a silver platter, now can I?
You can, but...
Well, then it wouldn't be interesting for the audience.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, in addition to that, and yes, before you ask, it still has the pocket space inside of there. In fact,
I was going to say, that was the one thing I said.
In fact, I do say so myself, or, my father has spruced it up. It's now a fucking resort in there.
Oh my.
Yeah, it is fucking straight up a Bahamas or Cabo or nicest place on Earth that you can imagine. That's the vibe in there now. Like, there's water slides and bars and server automatons. Even the jail cells are fancy. As an additional note, while the transmutation of the artifacts will still require the additional steps, you may be able to use this to do other acts of transmutation as it is now. And that's something I'll have to whip up an evocation for in between sessions, but even at this stage in the quest, you could do weird shit with this in terms of turning one thing into other things.
Okay.
What the specifics of that will come into and work out in between sessions, but for now, that's where this quest stands. For the other ingredients, Gavel receives a similar summons, and with the boots, I'm on the way of this. I do believe one of your soldiers is about to have her water break. I'm excited to. I'm going to be a godmother, demon mother. Nah. In any case, here are your shoes, size to fit, of course.
Thank you.
They're very comfortable, actually, surprisingly so.
I'm certainly glad to hear that.
By the by, there was a little interesting twist that Ligier decided to add. You may be able to project your kicks out at a distance.
Is that so?
It is possible your kicks may be able to go to medium range if you spend a mote.
I see.
It's not making close combat attacks at extreme range like other kinds of bullshit you can make, but
right.
it is a new step in your kit.
Alright. Hold on.
Alright. So, I am assuming everyone wants to have, like, a rest for the night before... Well, actually, before that rest for the night scene, we should probably have, like, the big war meeting at Gavel's estate with the rest of the Ashen Ones and assorted allies.
Yes.
Baal's there. He just kind of waves. And although I will be busy myself, I will be entrusting my demonic legion with you for this.
I appreciate the trust.
And Emerald is here. Yeah, personally, I'm not much of a help in a direct fight outside of the death laser, but I did want to mention a couple of things I saw in my dreams again. It seems like it'd be pretty important. But let's wait until the overall strategy meeting happens for that.
Alright.
I think those are the only two major... No, wait, there would be one other... the duck folk there, Egertz is there. Now, hold on a minute. Now, I do consider myself to be a man who's quite well-traveled. I may be able to assist in regards to... Well, perhaps... I'm not really much of a warrior, but I do pride myself on being quite the diplomat and negotiator. But we'll save that for... We'll save that for as the GM desperately tries to enter his Wii World map again. Goddamn roll 20. It is unclear what he is talking about, or if that bit was canon. Probably not. Alright. Nue greets everyone in.
I think you're slipping from Scrooge McDuck into, what's the name of the professor? No,
Doofenshmirtz?
Doofenshmirtzy? Oh,
Ludwig von Drake.
Right?
Ludwig von Drake.
A little bit,
Professor
yeah.
von Drake.
I can see it, yeah.
Old German.
How the fuck do this goddamn map is? I'm trying to bring us back to Exalted's world map. You know what? Let me just get a fucking... I'll post it again in the goddamn chat. Alright, yeah, the Sword of Creation forum.
This reminds me.
There we go.
Rex, do you remember where that brain I need to give to Ligier is?
Zenmu.
Alrighty, let's see.
Oh, this is
here.
actually pretty useful.
Oh my goodness sakes, wow.
Holy shit! So previously, the major portions of this campaign was taking place in between the section of the at the bottom right of the map, the Tiger's Nest Coalition, Yadana, Shampur, Prasad, Volivad across the sea, Mount Namas, where Lythander's teachers are vibing. Alright, so we have a brief brass outlay as Nue is carving what looks like a massive hell animal bone into a scale map.
Mhm.
This animal's bones are disturbingly malleable. And she just hammers the bones on top of a massive table that creates an essence projection in the air for everyone to see. Oh, that... Give me a second, I think I burned through all my motes. And she is in fact mote tapped.
Wow.
She's out for now.
Man, I can't believe she got tapped.
Gavel's generals take center stage along with everyone else. So, we entered into Malfeas from roughly here, pointing at the palanquin down there. After quite a day's missive, it would take months in order to get to Prasad from there, but I don't think we should strike at Prasad directly. And Abigail, your deputy general, yes, I think we should enter a rift to either the Eye of the Killing Storm or the Tiger's Nest Coalition, depending on if you would believe it would be easier to parlay with Bloodnail or not. Bloodnail is Lunar Warlord. Ah, okay. On one hand, we do have two Lunars with us, so that commonality may go some ways into winning that ally there, and due to being filled with his disciples rather than those still with Immaculacy's tendrils all over them, they'd be more accepting on working with Anathema at first, and in fact may go some ways into helping secure the Tiger's Nest Coalition if we go team up with Bloodnail first. On the other hand, Bloodnail is not what we would consider a totally rational actor. He calls himself Bloodnail, his territory is the Eye of the Killing Storm, he has the full Skull Throne and everything that he's famous for.
Does he at least know when to sit still when he
By the way,
needs to?
when you're talking about Bloodnail, this is different from the other nail that we know. Okay.
Yes, this is. Remember that other incident where you came into multiple spiders
Right.
at HellCon? And had to
It's a-
specify which one? Unfortunately, there's only so many Wuxia names to go around.
It's more common than you'd think.
Yes, in any case. The Tiger's Nest Coalition mostly consists of mortals, however they do have chimera beasts that they field as their main force against the Wyld Hunt, or rather, against the Wyld and against Prasad. They have very powerful breeders of all sorts of creatures. Out of character, the Tiger's Nest Coalition is a Pokemon region.
Oh. Huh.
And I'm sure we would be able to utilize some of their war beasts. However, the issue is that, to some extent, that Prasad has been exerting a significant amount of its soft power on the city-states that comprise it, even if they remain outside of its control due to banding together and focusing more on the northern quarter, as we can see closer to Shampur. The issue with this case is that they still would see us as anathema. That would be quite a hurdle to overcome, though their hatred of Prasad may outweigh their religious trappings, perhaps. That's all dependent on what we're able to convince and bring to the table, though.
Oh, I know a thing or two about religious trappings, don't you worry.
Yeah, there's a bunch of nodding from assorted distant relatives and other members of your initial family unit. Yeah, we were all there too. Nue would actually get back up from the couch he's been resting on. Oh, speaking of Lunars, there might also be the Aztec nomads if we can find those guys. I know that I have heard rumors of another Lunar, another one in the region, helping out with a nomadic group escaping Prasad. Could be worth looking into, but the difficulty there is finding them and seeing if there would be sufficient military aid to bother. And Emerald raised her hand for the speaking stick. Now is when I should probably talk about the dream warnings. There's a bit of grumbling from the Ashen Ones before Ball just raises his hands. No. These are actual, like, visions of the future through Yozi stuff. These can mostly be trusted. Alright. Gavel, you apparently have a double.
Do they happen to be Fey-like by chance?
No.
Okay, good. We don't need that incident again.
Well, what I'm saying is that there's been someone said to look suspiciously like you once or twice. It showed up in the dreams. Except that the hair was the wrong color. It looked almost like they had rocks coming out of their skin at points.
Yeah.
Also, they were fighting. They were fighting you.
Me.
And it seemed fairly even.
Fascinating.
I'm not sure exactly what the meaning of this dream is, but I saw this interspersed with flashes of your corpse. But the order of events made it seem like the corpse was there and then the other you was.
I see.
Like, it's not a prophecy about your death or anything. It seems more like someone used some means to raise your own dead body against you. Despite the fact that you're right here.
How fascinating.
Hey, Gavel, this sounds maybe a little bit like maybe a liminal was created from you.
Yeah.
The only question is, you don't remember dying, for real, and ejecting a corpse. In fact, I'm not sure if any of you guys learned in character that, that Stinger spat out the corpse in order to avoid dying of you.
Oh yeah, because didn't that happen during the April Fool's?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So this is complete fucking this is a complete what the fuck, probably.
Yep.
In addition to that...
Who would have my corpse? I haven't died in any sort of physical way. How strange.
Another note. Over all of these dreams, I saw the sign of Jupiter over all of the city. Which is weird, because when you're dreaming of a war, you would think of the Maiden of War, Mars. Not the Maiden of Secrets.
Then I'm sure that either there's another hand mixed in this overly complicated recipe already, or that means they have something else lying in waiting for us when we attack.
I'm just assuming it means a chosen of secrets.
That could also be quite true.
And for reference, that is the other kinds of exalted who have green affects outside of just infernals, but their green is a lot more towards, like, forests and more naturalistic colors as opposed to neons.
Yep.
Another note. In terms of dreams, I saw parts of the capital of Kamthahar itself warp into a Shadowland as your armies clashed with theirs. And then a giant skull burst out of the ground and ate the entire city.
Well then.
The issue is that I saw someone pushing the skull and animating it. And they had what looked like a fucked up solar cast mark. Abyssals, I think they were called.
Oh no.
There's going to be someone who's going to try and sabotage everyone in there, is how I'm interpreting this dream. And I might be wrong on that front. I don't know who this person's motivations are. I think that they're bringing a Hecatonchire with them. One of the mightiest of all ghosts.
Oh, great.
Another X Factor to be concerned about. Ball says, just rolling his eyes. Right. Any good news in those dreams of yours, by the way? Well, the good news is that I did see at least one other army marching with your men, so hopefully you will be able to at least convince some of the... You will be able to at least bring on some allies. It's which one of them was suspiciously covered in fog. Like they hadn't rendered in yet.
Well, I'm sure that my silver tongue will help us quite well in the battles to come.
There's also the angle of attack we're going to want to consider, Abigail says, just taking the laser pointer from someone and just waving it across parts of the map. I'm assuming we wish to proceed from the south, from the southeast, given that that's where our ostensible allies would be coming from. Naturally, however, this is where the Book of Prasad's forces would be as well. There is a means of sorcerously moving quickly. I've heard about in my interactions with some demons, and this is Stargazer here, as he's just kind of swirling wine in a cup. However, my understanding is they can only move a small group of people. Like a dozen or less, is what the travel without distance spell is capable of, and much as I'm loath to admit it, that is of the second circle, so Gavel could learn that to transport herself and others, but I don't know about anyone else. It may behoove you to secure that magic in the near future, ma'am.
Indeed.
I know that you're a sorcerer.
Yes,
right.
I'll be sure to get some information on that and try to learn the proper spell.
And the issue with this... So, before we go any further, how much do all of you know about how Prasad is structured?
Sorry, I'm a dumbass. I know nothing. Or I might. And my character might, but I don't remember.
Your character probably wouldn't either.
I'm a dumbass.
Gavel's character...
We're dumbasses.
Gavel's character would probably know, considering the amount of reading she had done before exalting.
Right, so you would know that they are an empire spun off from the realm, the big empire that controls the major center of creation. Oh god, there's a lot of stuff on the center map.
Let's see. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, people have in fact run entire games in the center. There's so much fucking material. In any case. In any case, Prasad is ruled by 2.5 ruling families of Dragonbloods, Clan Orphis and Clan Burano. Clan Akatha is kind of around still, but they've been running out of Exalted. Bloodline is not doing so hot, and a bunch of other political factors and means of that happening. They, in some ways, they're a much better civilization to hang out in the realm. They've outlawed slavery, for one. One of the very few polities in all of Exalted to actually bother taking a stand on that bullshit. And they are a lot more religiously lax than the realm is. They still fight anathema, of course, but they're a lot more open with who is allowed to worship when. In fact, they allow their own Dragonbloods to be worshipped. A no-no in the realm, because, well, that leads to all sorts of swallowed egos, but prayer does directly give spiritual beings, including Exalted, power. In terms of mechanical effects, they get a bunch of extra motes, a lot of them. And perhaps get to higher essence faster than a lot of their realm blood, than their central realm contemporaries. They have several thousand dragon blood throughout all of there, so you are absolutely going to want to have some major supernatural allies, such as the Chimera army or a handful more Lunars with you.
Okay.
Additional note, Prasad's major the really fucked up thing about Prasad is all the cultures they assimilate, they kind of delete. As in, indoctrinate them and their families, forced displacement, migrations, raising them and not allowing them to visit their ancestral homelands. Like, their goal is to turn all of the city-states and nomadic tribes that they bring under their fold into just more extensions of Prasad. Cultural erasure.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck, we gotta get them all. We gotta fucking We gotta.
Yeah.
I think we gotta kill this guy, Steven.
Yeah!
Don't worry, Gavel's been trying to.
And we're working on that. We're talking about the plan to kill this guy right now, Steven.
Yeah.
Dang.
Alright, so flashing back on that, as New Age just kind of raised a hand. I spend most of my time on the outskirts, but it's impossible to not hear about Prasad's succession crisis. The current the Rani Satrap, and this is someone Lythander actually would know about. You gained an intimacy towards her, I believe, via her interaction via stealing Stinger's sheep. You have a psychosexual tension intimacy with her. It doesn't have to be sexual, but it is definitely a very complicated relationship.
It could also be psychosocial, Badum-tish.
Yep. In any case, the Rani Satrap is getting up there in years. There's rumors she's even started taking anti-aging drugs, primarily because her heir vanished. Yeah, just like what happened in the realm. I hear everyone now. It's like poetry, it rhymes, etc. The point is that while Prasad isn't really stable right now, the fact is that they're very stretched thin, both because of succession crisis and plotting, and in regards to overextension. They've been making such a push to spread, like, look at how fucking far they are on this map. Like, look at how big they are compared to, like, all these other polities that the demons have labeled. They're way too fucking big. They're gonna be stretched thin, so we're gonna want to keep who we negotiate with as secret as possible, so that when we strike, surprise is gonna be our greatest weapon. They think you're dead, right?
Yes,
And
as
in fact,
far as they believe, I'm dead. Unless some wavering eyes that shouldn't have been there have miraculously seen me, and in which that case they know I'm alive. Or will know I'm alive.
Such as the deep cover Sidereal.
Yep.
In any case, Nue is actually going to offer to spend a mote to just rearrange your facial sliders a little bit just to be safe. Like, not make you look like a completely different person, but, like, move the beauty mark to a different part of your face, change your nose shape, move your hairline around, like, so that if you are recognized, it's going to be a lot harder to find out it's you.
Mistaken identity, it happens to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Like a less fucked up version of what Anasui did to himself in the Bohemian Rhapsody fight.
Yes.
Yeah, you're still yourself, it's just your facial sliders have been altered.
Mm-hmm.
So, which region should we try and center our egress out of? Actually, Ball would just kind of clear his throat. One other detail. Calibration's only a month away.
Oh, great.
That's the period of the year outside the year itself when, the skies open red with blood and all sorts of fucking shit happens because heaven's doing their taxes. That's not a joke. As someone who fucking had to live up there, the reason shit gets fucked on calibration is because all the gods are holed up doing their last minute paperwork and let shit get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, the good news is, because of that, it's the only time of the year when we can summon third circle demons, if you're a powerful enough sorcerer.
Ooh.
Gavel, if you are able to breach into the third circle at this time, you could summon an ace in the hole of one of our superiors.
Oh, I'll definitely have to find out some names for that, if that's the case.
I am just going to go note Ligier himself might not be a good idea because when I asked him on the issue when I first came to Hell, the magic of delegation has not been torn from us as with so many other prowess.
I see.
He has specific generals, and the rest of the OZ have people more skilled to flattening armies.
Then that's something I'll have to figure out. Who would be wanting to get in on this action amongst the third circles?
I have a handful of names that come to mind, and I will happily hand. He's writing down on a piece of paper now. However, one would probably do the deal for you, but may risk everyone else's safety as well, if you decide to call her Erembor.
And
The third soul of the Ebon Dragon. She who
Ah.
dances in darkness.
Hmm.
When she blows her horn, all creatures that hear it become mutated, corrupted, and a lot of shit happens when... honestly, there's no telling, depending on what melody she pulls out. She is apparently big on improv jazz, whatever that means.
Oh, Yosi, no.
And it is... Every time, though, she plays loud enough to affect entire armies with her magic. So that is something you're going to want to consider, especially if she can debilitate the enemy. The issue being you would need to take steps to protect your own men.
I could
There is
probably
also-
think of a few things.
There's also the Orochi. And this is someone you would actually know, given that you briefly met them before the Malfean strip.
Indeed. Let's see. I think I made a note. Roach. Yes, one of the demons of the Black Boar that twists the sky.
Mm-hmm. One of Isidorios' souls.
Yep.
The Orochi controls all manners of monstrosities and creatures, and is, of course, a juggernaut of destruction in his own right. Very he lives up to the hype that, sadly, what was the name of that demon we killed? It's been too long since we played out a character.
Eolda.
Eolda did not live up to the dice in his boss fight.
Oh, that was
aside from breaking Gavel's spine.
Yes. Other than that, that was so wild. Oh my goodness.
In any case, he is everything that Eolda was not in the field of close combat.
Well, it'd be great to have someone like that on our side for a change.
Now, the issue with... of course, all of these have double-edged swords. The Orochi would leave a flattened crater behind. How much do you want there to be left of Prasad is the issue with using him. He can absolutely... He does not have the collateral damage to troops issue. The issue is to how much of the countryside and civilians you're worried about.
I have some plans for the civilians already that should keep any non-combatants out of the way. I just need a bit more time to figure it out, and I'm hoping that on these travels of gaining allies, I may have the abilities to do as such. But I'll keep that in mind nonetheless. I don't want fellow brothers, sisters, and siblings to be bloodied on the street if they're not fighting.
I applaud you for that. Just make sure that if you do decide to call one of the Unquestionables, make sure that they would stick to the same code.
I certainly try my best to hold allies to the same standards I would put myself in. Wish I could say the same for these Prasadi assholes.
Bob just kind of nods. Yeah, I get it. Anything else anyone has to say before we pick a point of egress?
Let's see, because
Emerald just kind of nods. That's me, by the way. I'll be opening your doorway.
So
and in fact, I might actually come with you for the first section, because I have a distinct feeling about the prophetic dreams and the skull being something I'm personally interested in. Not sure I'll be able to take to the field directly, but I will be there in the periphery.
Let's see. Okay.
So this is kind of open to the players as to who do you think would be best to approach first? Weirdo fucking cryptid Lunars or the Pokemon trainers?
Because if I recall correctly, you mentioned something to the which ally was it that if we kind of allied ourselves with them first, it would help negotiations with another potential ally?
Potentially that would be the eye of the killing storm, if they see that you have a angry lunar war, like a proven lunar warlord with a decent empire on his own right.
I see, okay.
So Lythander.
Lythander if he was a full moon instead of a changing moon.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't think we know any lunar warlords in Shampur by chance.
No.
No. In that case, maybe going to the Pokemon area, be a first go around, especially, maybe gathering some information as well for the Eye of the Killing Storm.
Alright. Then it sounds like it's time for the dream sequence, then. Before the dream begins, you hear words echo as you drift off into sleep. Once there was a maiden who set sail with a captain she did not know. The sea came over the side as a creature with teeth, so she set it on fire until only the teeth were left. It wasn't expecting that to happen. She noticed the ship was crushing the waves and told the captain to steer the ship higher so that it could be above them. But not too high, she said. I'd hate to crush the clouds. A face in the depths glared at the captain. The maiden got angry. She broke the face, and broke the depths, and broke the sea, leaving only the white caps of the waves. Why did you do that? Asked the face. Rarely is travel peaceful, the maiden said. You are in a blank non-space.
I can't believe we're in that bread space.
The being you initially assumed was a Raksha is floating across from you. Flickering in and out between her shape is a smaller figure with a burning sidereal cast mark on her forehead. Burning green, the Maiden of Secrets, Jupiter.
Okay.
She is, she's like average height, relatively slender but toned build. Very curly red hair, roughly equivalent to Irish in real-world ethnicity comparisons. Wearing what appears to be a flowing gi, like a martial arts uniform, tied with 5 sash colors of all the 5 maidens, and what appears to be a flame piece in one hand.
Oh, great.
This is your last chance. I'm gonna be completely blunt with you. Save Prasad, for convincing you not to do so will be folly, I know that much. Save it for after the angry ghost in the water. Save it for after the fallen star.
I'm sorry, you don't seem to quite understand my list of priorities here. I'm going to be kicking your kingdom's teeth in. I'm saying you're in a universal term, not in a possession term. I'm going to be kicking your empire's teeth in. Then I'm going to be kicking in the teeth of that wretched little kraken. And then I'm going to be stomping the head in of Glimmer.
Well, I tried the carrots, now let me try the stick.
My favorite.
Did you know that she's into that? She'd rather the stick than the carrot any day of the week.
Lythander, shut the fuck up. You're not. You're not. It's impossible to not know who you are at this point.
Oh, am I that famous?
Infamous, I would say, yes.
Oh, that's just another word for famous. You know that, darling.
And in her other hand, she whips out a prayer strip.
Oh, are you going to try to pray the Lythander away?
No, I'm going to send this right to the Department of Mars. And if you insist on this folly war, I will make sure it is lost.
You know, there was someone I used to know who said something very, very similar to me when I was a little girl. You want to know what happened 12 seconds after he said those words?
I'm sure you killed him.
Oh, yes, but also, Gavel points to her cast mark, this happened.
Oh, so that's how it happens. Thank you for the intel. I do appreciate that.
Question: do I see any of the mushroom boys running around the island?
In the dream, you're in a dream. You're in a fucking white hole dream space right now.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Never mind.
Yeah, contacted via blackmailing the god of dreams into dragging you all into here.
Yeah.
Let me put it to you like this: your prowess in all of hell are mighty. That's for damn sure. But time is an inexorable force, and I would make sure you run the hell out if you do this. Embark on this war now, and I will send you into the future.
You mean the place where I've already won?
No, into the future where you're...
I flung him into the future!
That just... Wait. Excuse me, if you're going to throw her into the future where she's losing, that's going to invigorate her to win that war. So you have to put her into a place where she looks like she's winning so that you can steal it away. Man, you did...
Lythander?
Man, these gods don't know how to actually torture people like us, who are always on a brink of losing.
Lythander, I will strangle you if you give her any more ideas.
Hot.
Oh, goodness.
No, you've been quite helpful as a... you've been quite helpful right now. Thank you for taking that annoying bitch in the endings department off the board for now. And those mushroom sons of yours have been quite helpful, too.
What about my children? What are you doing, my children?
Oh, it's more what we're doing with them that's the...
What are you doing with my children?
Saving them all across creation.
How are you saving
You've
them?
been quite... No, seeding.
Oh, seeding.
S-E-E-D-I-N-G.
Gotcha.
You've been quite liberal with the spores, and I do appreciate that. But in any case, let's go back to the threats. Disaster accelerating expedients is what she is threatening all of you with. Oh, Chills, are you back here now?
I am.
Okay. She's gonna try and punch you guys literally into a forced time skip. Upon learning of some future danger, suffering, or disaster she's likely to face in the future, the Sidereal rolls to ensure it happens sooner than it normally would.
Evil is law.
The difficulty depends on how far in the future that disaster lies. In this case, difficulty 5 for months. If accelerating the disaster requires changes in the decisions of non-trivial characters, the Sidereal's role must beat their resolve and leverage at least a minor intimacy, such as a hatred of Prasad or corrupt rulers.
Well, Gavel's already got that in spades.
If the Sidereal succeeds, the disaster occurs at the next dramatically appropriate sunrise or sunset. Though it comes early, it's diminished or flawed in some way that gives the Sidereal a significant advantage in overcoming it, taking into consideration the reduced time to prepare for it. Do you have anything you could do to convince this woman to not do this shit? Or perhaps to... Is there anything anyone wants to try before she pushes the big red button?
Maybe.
I should note, dream space where physical combat's not really going to accomplish much. She can't directly hurt you, you can't directly hurt her.
That's what you think. We can hurt her in other ways.
What are they? What is she like upset about? Why is she doing this?
She is annoyed you are gonna try and kick over Prasad before you deal with the fucking Death Lord. She's threatening you.
Oh.
Her deal is, if you go deal with Final Glimmer first, outside of the scope of this campaign, then I will not have to do this thing. If you insist on attacking Prasad first, I will forcibly time skip you with Sidereal magic.
Oh god, that seems entirely excessive.
Which would put you past calibration.
Guys!
Note.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I have...
I know.
I have a possible way of dealing with this, but I'm trying to save that bullet for the Glimmer fight.
All right. Look. I know. We have a bigger fish to fry, so to speak. But we're already making preparations. There's no way we can prepare. There is absolutely no way that we can face a final glimmer of fallen stars right now. If we're gonna fight her, we need to make sure that nothing is going to get in our way, and that includes this problem in Prasad. Please, you have to be reasonable. There's a lot at stake here. Lots of people are in pain in that city. Lots of people suffering. Trust me, it's been a long time coming. This is really important.
And you think that bringing war directly to a city would improve that?
He's got a good point.
It's not a war that we wanted, it's the war that was thrown upon us.
They're not... Wait.
I should note, by the way, regardless of what you do, you won't be able to kill all of Prasad. And she... Erupting from the white space underneath her is what appears to be a little shrine. A cross between a shrine and a mailbox.
So,
A sepulture of the future. And she gestures, "Go ahead, take inside. Look what's written on there."
you do know by looking in there we can change said future.
I've already looked inside.
Okay.
Okay. That doesn't mean anything.
Gavel's just gonna sigh and look inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the requisite charm for what exactly this reads out. Hang on. Of secrets left unspoken, I believe, is hang on, let me look up how this word sepulture is spelled. Nope, that's fucking wrong. God damn it, my keyboard's doing the thing where it's not recognizing the types again.
Oh no.
Hang on. For some reason this works if I plug outside the laptop and plug it back in.
That's...
Like outside... Oh, I actually got it the spelling right the first time. Yay. Going inside the fucking Sidereal's thing. Oh, by the way, this is a new character, by the way. You've never seen this person's true form yet. Alright, yeah, I'm getting... Oh, of truths best unspoken. The Sidereal makes a special introduced fact roll to reveal what the sepulture holds, introducing a fact relevant to the near future. She is still dependent on low backgrounds. Effectively, this is a prediction on the future. If the game's events ultimately contradict the fact about the future, this doesn't mean the Sidereal was wrong, but by the age's end, a false narrative of events will have superseded the truth in scholarly consensus. She's pulling fucking a future Wikipedia article about how the Empire of Prasad exists hundreds of years from now.
Okay, and what does it say?
That you won't be able to kill Prasad because Prasad will still be there.
We never said kill Prasad, we said change Prasad. There's a big difference. A country can keep its name, but its people may change.
She just kind of glares at Gavel. No, you were pretty clear about murdering all of them.
I wasn't. I would prevent them.
Aren't you her circle mate?
List of intimacies. Change Prasad. Major.
Alright, yeah, that's fair.
Compassion.
Alright, yeah, that's fair.
Tying us the circle together. Sorry, I just want to... It's one of those where Lythander just looks at Gavel and says, "We're not killing them all."
We're not killing all of Prasad.
No,
Just
the rulers.
And the slave.
And it's those rulers who you can't take off the table because thousands of fucking dragon bloods are really goddamn useful against all the shite coming out of the Dreaming Sea.
Well, if they want to change their ways and work with me, we can work on that. But if they want to continue the old ways into driving everything into their own pretty little perfect hands, then I'm going to lob them off and throw them in the lake of fire.
If no one else has anything to say, she would attempt to push the big red button now, but I haven't given Aura a chance yet, so...
Order.
Alright.
Ora!
Alright, I already fucked this up once. Let's see if I can work this out. Alright. So, there's a war. There's a war we have to fight. We didn't start this war. We didn't want... Personally,
Didn't start the fire.
I never wanted this war. I tried lobbying it to have it resolved in a peaceful panel. It didn't work due to the interference of one particular person, a person who I don't remember.
That was actually the Death Lord panel. There wasn't a panel.
No. I'm talking about the press conference. The one we held with the...
the Wyld Hunt!
Wyld
Right. Yeah, you were able to repel them, but that left off on very much bad terms. Of making peace with them was just going to be flat out impossible. You were able to convince them to retreat, but any attempt to make peace would be unacceptable.
Yeah, but it was impossible. But it was impossible because of how what's her name was manipulating the situation.
It wasn't just Yaktan's interference, to be fair. Dragonbloods do have mental defenses and ways to resist, like, mind control or hypernatural suggestive influence.
Regardless, it was never my desire to allow the situation to escalate this far. But regardless, this is what ended up happening. I don't want to cause any unnecessary bloodshed. If what you fear is for these potential how do I put this? For these potential relations to be squandered, then trust me when I say that I fear that too. And I intend to resolve this conflict in a way that doesn't squander them. That still allows us to have them at our backs in our time of need against Final Glimmer. This I solemnly swear.
And what precisely would that be?
If at first you don't succeed, hold another press conference.
Really? Oh, the press conference against the people who think all of you are demons. Really?
Exactly right. But I won't be the only one. But we won't be the only ones speaking. After the first press conference, we have acquired a lot of good faith. Gavel, please tell me we actually acquired good faith over the past few days, so I don't look like an idiot.
We did
getting there.
I'm sorry, we didn't. I kind of ruined all good faith that we had.
No, not really. You have some infernal allies.
Yeah.
The issue is that they're not particularly disposed towards Aura's perspective on using an olive branch here. I'm sorry. God Eater Baal is not really interested in not living up to that name against a largely divine Empire of Prasad ruled openly by gods.
Look, I know that there's people that... I know that despite there are differences, these are people who ultimately desire prosperity for their ilk. That comes before the destruction of their enemies. In all contexts. I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
You know who gave a very similar speech? The Bull of the North. That ended with him, I think he's still in a coma, half his circle's dead, and even if he was able to repel the realm, his empire has fallen apart. He gave one of my co-workers a very similar speech, right before he went on his war. Believe me, I don't want to do this either. But you are forcing my hand if you insist on this fool campaign before dealing with the real threats to all creation, than settling a petty grudge.
Gavel smirks. Petty grudge. Is it?
Well, I can tell that I'm not going to convince any of you, so be it.
Wait, convince
and
me of
she's
what?
gonna roll. She's gonna attempt to roll for the big red button.
What was she trying to convince us to
Alright.
do?
Using an
I'm going
excellency.
to attempt one last thing.
Okay.
Alright.
What is this intimacy that... What's this intimacy that... that really demands her that we deal with this immediately?
You're gonna need to do a read intentions
I'm
roll
gonna
on
roll,
her for that.
roll a read intentions roll.
Alright, your choice of embassy or presence.
Roll embassy. Excellency. That's 7 successes on that.
Her intimacy on this matter is major principle. Top down is always better than bottom up.
Bottoms up, baby.
The reason she's so desperate, the reason why she's taking this view is that she really, really, really would rather deal with the fucking Skeletor pushing the make everything in the world terrible forever button, rather than dealing with conflict between a country and smaller city-states. She's real. She would much, much, much rather all of those issues were dealt with, and then the international squabbles could happen. Basically, she believes what she's saying, effectively, earlier.
Shit. She makes a good point.
Yeah. Unlike Yaktan, this is someone with actual principles.
Alright, let's see.
While you're thinking that over, Gavel did mention having one silver bullet, but also wanting to consider saving that for the final boss, so...
Yes, if you if you want, I can say what it is, at least.
Go ahead.
If I can look at the thing again, it is Irresistible Presence Technique. Make a special presence-based influence action as simple action with the target's essence added to his resolve. On success, he is hypnotized for 1 round, unable to take any actions. The exalts may issue a single instruction in a short, clear sentence, which the target will carry out immediately. If the target rejects the influence, the exalt gains the dice bonus against them for the rest of the session. Afterward, he will have no memory of being commanded. This may only be used once per story.
Now, once per story means arc, effectively. So you could use this in the versus Prasad arc and in the final arc.
Okay. Then
so
yeah.
there is, in fact, a second silver bullet in the chamber beyond the first one.
Thank goodness. Okay. If Aura doesn't have anything to help out, Gavel's probably going to try that.
Let's see what I do. Fuck it. Hypnotic tongue technique. I'm gonna make a weaken action. With with their essence and bonus successes.
Her essence is 4, equal to yours.
All right. What do I roll for weaken?
She's presence, force presence.
Presence. Okay. So.
And she is spending a mote on the integrity excellency.
All right. So that's 8 successes on 9 dice.
The integrity excellency boosted that by 2, and she is calling upon a major intimacy you're not aware of to beat that, ups it to 9.
Ooh.
Solar. Okay, yeah, that's one less than what I have. Let's see. Can I could have probably committed harmonious presence meditation.
If you want to retroactively do that, that's fine, but I will note she will be hard bargaining.
All right. I guess there's no convincing you.
So rather than weakening that intimacy, I think that she's not gonna fail outright in the attempt to do this role without bothering to roll. She will be making the moment of truth momentarily, but before anything else... alright, I've got it. She lets slip a key piece of information. This is going to be fucking annoying enough as is, with that spare lunar exaltation that got freed up by the Wyld Hunt doing their job elsewhere on the Dreaming Sea. We are going to have enough problems to worry about without a fresh Lunar running around outside of our... as she's picking someone else down there. I want to have all of these ducks in a row, and yes, I can work with you if you promise me an oath seal that you deal with the Death Lord first. So, yeah, spoilers of, hey, new Lunar Exaltation about to drop.
Oh, great.
In your section of in the narrative scope of this campaign. Hey, remember how you needed a fragment of Luna for New A's thing? Luna personally attends every one of their Lunar Exaltations.
So when she says,
wow.
deal with the Death Lord, what is acceptable? What are we, like, how, like, minimum what?
Kill her.
And we cannot do that. There's no way we can do that at the moment.
You need to find her, mistletoe, effectively, and you don't know, and you know where you might be able to find that, maybe, but you need to actually go there.
Yeah, and we've got plans for
that.
Yeah,
and if we miss our chance... Yeah, and if we miss our chance to deal with Prasad now, it would be bad.
Especially with tax day for the gods coming up.
Mm-hmm. Tax day for the gods is the most effective way of declaring war on heaven.
Alright, I'm out of ideas on how to convince them.
Gavel? You want to fire your silver bullet?
It's time to fire with spending 2 motes. Irresistible presence technique. Let's see. Presence-based influence action. So what do I need to roll?
Force again.
Force plus presence. I don't have a thing for that. Okay. Please. 7 successes.
And this just needs to beat her resolve, yes?
Yes. The target's essence is also added to the resolve, by the way.
Okay, then her resolve is going to be 7, and defenders win ties. Unless you can think of a stunt.
Okay. Gavel's going to look this particular person in the eye. All these words. You've said it yourself that convincing isn't going to matter. So why don't we both just save it for the battlefield itself?
Alright, pretty good one-liner, a lot of stunt.
Alright. Please. 1 success!
Who's looking at alien?
I wasn't really going to bring this up, but she does have a minor intimacy against infernals that she's calling on as well.
Uh-oh. Would I be able to... Could I use Golden Year's Tarnished Black?
It's already a negative intimacy.
Oh, it already is? Darn. Alright.
Can I aid?
Could I aid? Yes,
All right.
You can.
I'm going to attempt a distract gambit.
Okay.
Buzz looking alien!
Alright. Performance-based distract, that's
With performance-based distraction, let's do this.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can roll that instead.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look, a distraction!
Hey, look, it's the Death Lord!
Big numbers, lads. Let me see them.
That's
some big numbers!
Gavel, roll 8 more dice because you've hit cap.
Yep, alright. Please.
You need 3 more successes if my math checks out.
Please. 6 successes. We're good.
Aloha.
She is going to hard bargain out of this, but that is a success.
All right.
So what? Remind me how the rest of that charm reads, because that'll determine what form the bargain takes.
Let me see. Because I had it on. There it is. If the target rejects the influence, the exalt gains the dice bonus against them for the rest of the session. Afterward, he will have no memory of being commanded.
Alright, so I do think you're going to get around to delivering that command. What form the resistance takes, as well as what social defense charms they're going to fire, depend on what the command is.
Okay. The command is basically, don't time punch us further into the future, just let us go. Right here and now, let us go.
Can I just get out, please?
Yeah, pretty much. Let us out of here and now, in peace.
Give me a moment to think of the hard bargain for this.
Like if she just wants to slap Gavel, then that's fine. But no time.
That would be really fucking complicated for me to run.
That's fair.
I've got it.
Okay.
Who does Gavel refer to in terms of you? The people in this call, perhaps?
Oh. Oh, boy.
That would not include the Ashen ones, now would it?
Oh, no.
Is that an acceptable hard bargain, or would you rather me propose something else?
Propose something else.
You know what, that's fair.
Gavel would never sacrifice the Ashen ones to anything she herself wouldn't be able to endure.
Well, to be fair, they wouldn't die. They would just be forcibly time-skipped.
Indeed.
Like, they suddenly have everyone there has a everyone else has a post-time skip design, and they're stuck with the basic default Season 1 shit.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, how about this, then? She switches to a different big red button in the Sidereal toolkit.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Different big red button? I can deal with that. Alright.
Okay, yeah, fine. So, as you lock eyes with her and speak the commands, you see she is... All of a sudden, she's on fire as she's dapping into... Well, to be more accurate, lightning comes out of the sky and strikes her. As she is activating Sidereal integrity charms to, instead of be convinced by someone, to have sense shocked back into them to resist mind control and mental influence, as she takes several health levels of damage.
Oh my goodness.
When I said you can't hurt each other, I meant that literally.
Wow, alright.
However, the prayer peeper she was holding does burn up, and as through the forms to time punch you into the future. What that would have done in narrative is that would have put you into the war with several war steps of events you were already lost.
Oh, goodness.
Now, however, she's gonna need more time to do that, and she was convinced not to, as she just snarls. I only have enough in me for one more of those blasts, and I can't well do that without more rest, and by the time I do that, you'll already be back to creation, embarking on your shite. You know what? Fine. I can make this work. In fact, I even promise to not, send any more of those prayers if you do one wee thing for me. Don't summon an unquestionable. And she's gonna try a persuade action on Gavel.
Alright. Let's see.
Appealing to her, compassion effectively.
So, how many successes is that for her?
5.
5? Let's see. My resolve is 4. Do I have anything that can boost that up?
Intimacies or virtues.
Fuck Sidereal Exalts? Actually,
That counts.
Okay, cool. Then yes, the intimacy of fuck Sidereal Exalts.
No, I'm summoning Super Satan and you won't stop me. Fine. You know what? I don't even need to go to Mars. I'll just talk to Saturn directly. And with that, all of you wake up.
I imagine Gavel's just slowly rising up, basically in a cold sweat. Hate those fucking dream pullers and their fucking nonsense.
Yeah, as mentioned, she blackmailed the God of Dreams in order to do all of that.
Yeah.
I should know, it was only the three of you in that dream, not any other characters. So for the bed across from you in, like, the fancy demigod room, New Eileen's up. Psychic dream shit.
Psychic dream shit.
Sidereals.
Fucking Sidereals.
Threats.
Always. But we knew that already.
Did they manage to pull anything, or are we good?
We will be having some very angry company when we eventually get to Prasad.
I'm imagining you're checking the sundial as you're doing this. Okay, yep, still the same date, we're good.
Yep.
JoJo Part 6 spoilers did not happen.
Thank goodness.
You were at risk of being made in heaven.
The 37 cars on Mars did not occur in this timeline.
I was thinking more like this.
Yep, mm-hmm.
Look at Saul, he's going very fast.
Someone gave Sol a single can of the old Mountain Dew.
This is your son. This is your son on Red Bull. It gives you wings.
Oh, goodness.
So, I'm assuming everyone is going to try and go for the Tiger's Nest Coalition, then?
I believe that is our first target, yes, of allies.
Alright, unfortunately, it's going to be you guys going to have to make another venture trek through Ceciline again.
Oh, boy.
Nue will be doing the Dauntless Yedem Caravan again to auto-skip the first obstacle, though.
Thank goodness.
So, this time, she projects what looked... As you guys all start walking into the desert, you see a whale spout just grow out of her head. And for a major portion of the journey, and probably a full day, she is perpetually spraying water to keep everyone cool in the desert.
Nice.
And hydrate everyone. It is a very fucking weird sight, but it keeps everyone hydrated, so who can you complain? Yep. Alright, let's go back to the travel venture sections then in my notes. Alright, next difficulty is going to be dangerous terrain. You're passing over the fucking acid desert again. Or the acid river. The acid ocean again. How do you get across a literal... The floor is lava. And there's no way around the lava. This would be athletics or navigate, depending on what approach you guys take.
I imagine one of these two has better athletics or navigation than Gavel, because, ooh boy.
Hold on, I know this one. I know what to do. Hold up. I have a charm for this. Rex, what counts as a vessel?
Something, a shape sufficient enough that you could use to move and pilot across a body of water in this instance.
And the floor is lava.
Acid ocean, but yes. Oh, by the way, in the background, we still see Foggy running around being chased by Gnosis. Like, in the distance of the city, we'll still see Foggy running through the streets with the fucking Heaven Embassy in tow. Some days, you just can't get rid of an embassy. Oh, yuck!
Not that, not that. I'm gonna find this sometime. There it is. Wait, no. Not that. There it is. Ship claiming stance. Spend one mode to claim divine ownership of an unclaimed large vehicle. While the solar holds a positive tie to this vessel, it gains a reserve of 2 motes or 2 will that I can use to pay the cost of charms or sorcery. This reserve refreshes at the beginning of a session or when they incapacitate an enemy ship. And then navigate 3, commit 2 motes to ensure that the solar is aboard then sure, while the Solar is aboard their vessel, it requires no crew and will never wreck, regardless of the damage it suffers. Go ahead and spend 1 mote and commit 2. And I'm going to claim the nearest large object as my vessel. Large flotaceous object as my vessel.
I think I have an answer based on all the chaos and destruction of shit that has been drifting from the city since Foggy had to move shit. The Gaia Scorn Monument.
Yeah!
Has drifted down the acid ocean to here as Octavian's giant middle finger divorce sculpture to his ex.
Nice.
You are able to ride the fucking Gaia Scorn all the way across!
Let's go.
It's not exactly a very comfortable ride, but the solar magic means no one falls off into a fucking Augustus Gloop death scene.
Oh god. Scary.
Next obstacle. Actually, how much did you roll
I didn't
for that?
roll. Let's see.
Oh, you are going to need to roll
Okay,
still.
let's see. It just says to claim it.
You are going to need to make a navigate roll, because this is still a very turbulent ocean with a lot of weather phenomena, acid splashing everywhere. Even if you have a means to... Alright, difficulty 5,
Nice.
so you're good. So you could use the one other success to grant a 1 bonus dice to another competitor's next roll. Or another ally's next roll in this case.
I see.
Unfortunately, it is then when, she who lives in her name is crossing the fucking, desert. Her whole body. The entire Yozi. All of the crystal spears turn to look at you, and these are... It's effectively an entire swarm of 9,997, moons. Effectively, each one is the size of an Earth moon. And you instinctively tell, they recognize you, and they are not happy with what you did to Iolda. Difficulty 10. Survive. This is going to be your choice of either physique or athletics to get the fuck away from the Yozi, the whole thing.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use athletics, and I'm going to go ahead and play out, and I'm going to use my double eights thing, Living Wind Approach, or what was it called? Shit. I have so many charms. It's lightning speed, that's it. Come on, double eights, give me some good shit.
We believe in you.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm so close. Let's see if I can roll a stunt. What do I say? What do I do to get a stunt here?
You're trying to outrun the Fortnite wall of death, effectively.
Okay.
As you see thousands of these coming at you. But they're all angry.
I'm going to... Okay. So this ship is unsinkable, right?
At the moment, yes.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to use the moat for from the ship, not my own moat to activate this.
Right.
I got a reserve of 2. Anyway,
Yep.
I'm going to... Because this is a giant fallen tower.
You're effectively riding you're riding a fucking building.
Fuck it. I'm going to do the fucking log ride thing to try to track... I'm going to try to, spin this thing like a log with my feet to try to get him off.
Well, then.
Like that one Fall Guys minigame? Alright, add the stunt.
Alright. Come on, baby. Yes! 10.
Yep, 10. Souls
Got
win
it.
ties. My mind is mentally playing the Fall Guys music. Da 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 da. As you are fucking bolting.
I hate traveling.
Now fucking everyone else is doing the run. Like, all the Ashen ones and all the other player characters are doing a fucking Fall Guys minigame as you're all running and speeding up the pillar to get the fuck away from the whole Yosi!
Oh, goodness.
This isn't the most relevant Fall Guys gift, but I just wanted to post one that was relevant.
I can do it.
Fair. No!
And by the skin of your fucking teeth, you managed to do it and get away from her enough that Swillen is yanked back by the metaphysical bindings keeping her in Malfeas. As she is effectively, invisible space, or the desert itself, reaches back to grab her in a sandstorm. And the giant death spears go back as the whole Yosi was trying to kill you. The principle of hierarchy was trying to kill you all with death lasers. You were effectively in a bullet hell. You were in a Toho level.
Right.
Oh, no.
But you just managed to escape. Alright, next up on the venture stage is going to be Swillen's parting shot of shitty death weather. As what I am going to describe as evil mushrooms begin to rain from the sky.
Lythander, it's all you. You can do it. You can save the Soul Society.
These appear to be corrupted and perverted versions of Lythander's own children, raining from the sky trying to kill all of you.
Lythander,
Correct?
you must save us.
Doesn't actually have to be Lythander, but it would be dramatically appropriate if it were.
So, are they still technically the mushroom people?
Yes, but they've been subverted by she who lives in her name's mind control.
Cool, I pressed the kill switch.
Why do you have a kill switch?
In case stuff like this happens.
Well, you're still going to need to make a force
So
plus
this isn't a
sagacity roll
kill
to activate
switch,
the kill.
honestly. I was messing with you. It's more so I'm going to do try to speak to their hearts as their father.
Okay, yeah, in that case, performance.
And since I used my motes, social influence, I would be on 5. So I do get my essence rank as bonus successes.
Yep.
That is going to be 10 successes.
Holy shit. Alright, you successfully convinced your kids not to kill you. I'm imagining you're doing the fucking Puss in Boots eye look at them with your eyes getting super big.
The funniest part of this entire thing, only 3 successes converting to 10.
So that is, with 4 bonus successes from your essence. That is 11 total
10.
successes, so you clear that obstacle
Only
with...
10.
Oh,
Because I have
Okay,
3 that
so
go to
you clear
6,
that
and then 4.
okay, so yeah, you have 5 overflow successes then. I could give you a really fucking funny advantage to spend that on. Deal damage to opponent or opponent's mount/vehicle. Fire a parting shot at the whole ass Yosi.
Sure.
Alright, what shape does this parting shot take?
A mushroom cloud.
Okay. You're just firing a whole bunch of spores at the
That kill everything besides the things that are in it. Meaning that I have made the Funganook, the Fanook, the Funk.
I'm gonna have to put a bit of a
Alright.
yellow or red flag on
Alrighty.
that. But the spores are
the
wreaking
spores are gonna
havoc,
wreak
and
havoc.
a bunch of those demons.
A bunch of them are going to turn into full-fledged mushroom boys, tearing apart the everything.
Holy shit! This actually plays into a joke Darren, our prior guest, made in a group chat. More on that later, but this will play in the Fallout slideshow. What happens at the end of the campaign?
Okay.
Final obstacle is going to be a stealth check of evading Prasadi and Sidereal detection on where your egress point is. Because you've reached the end of the desert where you can poke a hole back into creation.
I thought with... Okay. Alright.
Well, let me at least make an opposed roll for the Sidereal Seers. Because that might work, it might not. Well, the good news is that you get to creation. The bad news is the Sidereals know where you're coming in at. So, you won't be immediately ambushed, but they will take precautions against the next phase 2 of the negotiations. Even if phase 1, you'll have enough time you'll have enough time to talk with the whole Pokemon gang before everyone else, but they'll have time against the lunar powers that you're going to negotiate with to prepare accordingly. So,
does anybody want to give me or attempt to give me a boost?
Oh yeah, you can still do an aid action.
Anyone?
Let's see.
Or
How
should
can
I proc
assist
Pedro to
the
do the doors?
Let's have Pedro roll build. Well, holy shit, Pedro!
Wow, that chicken dude.
Funniest possible answer. The Sidereal trying to look for you, Pedro traps him in the underworld for a bit.
No one expects Pedro the chicken.
As we cut to the shepherd from way back earlier in their campaign, kind of wincing at, I promised I would help them, but I definitely can't help them against Prasad. I'm going to have to stand with the host on... What is that chicken do we hear? Oh god! As for the next episode or two, the shepherd is going to be trapped in the underworld and have to get out manually. And thus can't relay the updates back as effectively as he would have. Oh, by the way, Lythander.
Yeah.
You now have Shepherd's face.
Nice.
You could spend the motes if you want to take any of his memories or shit.
I'm not sure. I think I'll do it.
Alright, one of his intimacies you'll have to take on, albeit it could take a new context. To think of who would be most appropriate here, this would be to Mahasuchi.
Alright.
The Lunar warlord who you once spoke with via community when I said, hey, maybe don't kill your boss. Or, no, it was about Stinger, I think, effectively. Yeah. You know what? The intimacy towards... Do you have an intimacy towards... Well, you know one towards Stinger already. Of Mahasuchi. Haunted by his betrayal. You could take this to a different context as long as it's something negative toward Mahasuchi, because you see a few memories of flashbacks of Shepard as he was exalting as a Sidereal, which is a much slower and more gradual process for those type of exalts. Mahasuchi realized what was going on and tried to kill him. Effectively, this would be like if Santa Claus tried to kill you, because Mahasuchi was the patron and founder of the Goat Folk Society.
Gotcha.
Effectively, he is still, to some level, scared of and guilty towards him. Because he was maybe one of the only person who realized, oh, wait a second, this is a Sidereal exaltation. I don't give a shit that you're one of my distant kids. I'm going to kill you. And that left an impact on him. The upside, though, this means you understand his knowledge of the Silver Pact, which is going to be real fucking important when it comes to negotiating with the other Lunars in the area. And that's basically it as we enter back into creation. You guys definitely do see Pedro having inexplicably darted ahead of everyone else, and you just hear a fading. That you might recognize Shepard's voice as the door to the underworld seals behind him.
Well then.
And this is happening probably early-ish in the morning, so it will in fact be a full day before he can get the fuck out back into creation. Meaning you'll have time to get your audiences with the city-state. And it's at this point when, hey, that animal looks familiar. Hey, that's Janice on the distance.
What?
Aura went on a date with her. Chills.
Yo.
Aura.
You recognize that anima in the distance. Janice is
shit.
here.
Hey.
She's not within speaking distance yet, but I should note you do see her anima in the city in front of you, as well as a very, very weird anima that you don't recall having ever seen before. In fact, it doesn't look like a human anima so much as it's like you're seeing a god's essence directly rather than filtered through a human soul. It's a lot taller than an exalted anima banner would be. It's a lot wider as the camera cuts to a dragon king.
Oh shit.
Facing off with Janice in combat.
Oh no.
As she is fighting a big angry lizard in the middle of the town square. And we're going to end the session as you come into the middle of this fight, where both of them seem to be at pretty even odds with each other. And well, the aftermath of this is something that we're going to determine for the next session. But for now, that's our dramatic roundabout moment of Prasad's agents are already here.
Dun dun dun.
Intrigue happening at a sector near
Let's
you.
go.
Little shorter than past sessions, but to be honest, we kind of needed that after 4 hours.
Yeah.
4-hour sessions can happen every time, and this is going to be easier. And I'll have time to make ample notes for the next arc, of which we're going to be recording, hopefully more frequently, to get more time back on our tables for the next few years. I don't want to be doing all this shit into my 30s, is what I'm saying. Patrons.
Our dear patrons.
The ones who have give us money every month.
We'll put the money in.
Thank you.
Thank you to GB and to Storm for supporting us at the 6-sided dice tier. You pay for the podcast.
Thank you.
You means that this isn't completely at a loss, it's only slightly at one.
Thank you, lads.
Thank you. Jojo will be coming back at some point in the near future. We'll figure out exactly when with Alatos, but it is on the horizon, I believe.
Yes.
Eidolon's a pretty good system for that, and as someone playing an Eidolon on its off game, it absolutely would fit Alatos' style of GMing really well.
Especially since I have some JoJo Tarot cards right next to me in physical form.
Oh shit, nice!
Yeah.
Alright, well, that'll be something for the future, though. For next time on what we currently have on the docket, setting up the war against Prasad, recruiting allies, and countering some of their agents who are already here. We're finally out of the con, and now we're into the fight. What our characters have been wanting since the start. Yeah. See you next time.
Later.
Thank you for listening to FateBreakers. We here at the Action Economy crew are proud to bring you this and other AP content like Tomb of the Red Giant, the first half of our complete JoJo's Bizarre Adventure AP, as well as Rune Runners, our Icon AP. We'll also have a Patreon by the time you hear this. If you like what you've heard so far, feel free to drop us a little bit of money if you can afford to do so, and we could bring you even more content in the future. APs live and die by word of mouth, so if you liked us, please drop us a follow, like, share, retweet, whatever you can think of to help us out. We are excited to bring you more bi-weekly content in 2 weeks from now for the next FateBreakers, and other episodes time permitting. See you then.